Hi friends, good evening. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy, Director, Shankarana Study Circle. Today in this particular video, we will discuss about electric mobility policy in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Electric mobility, electric vehicles, Andhra Pradesh Electric Mobility Policy 2018-23. Remember, this is the policy made by the earlier government when Chandrababu Naidu was the chief minister, but much of the policy still remains relevant, and that's why the present government said that it will take up the revision of this particular policy. Instead of scrapping the policy, they said that it will be revised to make additions wherever it is necessary. So usually the electric mobility policy and electric vehicles have become very important for a number of reasons, especially the impact of climate change and global warming. So especially because of growing urbanization, even in the cities and towns, because of the use of conventional fossil fuels, the pollution is growing by leaps and bounds. And Indian cities were one of the worst polluted cities. And in addition to pollution, because of rising average global temperatures, there are greater threats of increasing intensity of droughts and frequent cyclones which are much more intense and which are much more devastating. So keeping this in mind, to deal with the problems of climate change and global warming, and also to deal with the problems of huge dependence on import of crude oil for India's energy security, and also to deal with the problem of growing pollution in the cities, countries across the globe, including India, so started giving a push to electric mobility and manufacture and spread of electric vehicles. See, as I told you, electric vehicles, they have become very important and they are being promoted because of high density batteries. High density batteries or fuel cells, and also falling prices of lithium ion batteries, increased research into these fuel cells and cheaper renewable energy. And because of all these reasons, electric vehicles have become very popular. And at the national level, Government of India has come up with a policy called FAME, faster adoption of electric mobility vehicles, faster adoption and manufacture of hybrid and electric mobility vehicles, electric vehicles. That we will discuss separately in a separate video. See, the government of Andhra Pradesh has set for itself an ambitious target. What is this target? With respect to the manufacture and the sale of electric vehicles, Andhra Pradesh wants to be one amongst the 3 best states in India. So it shall be in the top 3 states by 2022, the best state in the country by 2029, and a leading global investment destination by 2050. So, the transportation infrastructure which is dependent on electric vehicles is called sustainable because it doesn't result in global warming and climate change, and also it doesn't result in pollution. That's why Andhra Pradesh wants to be a front runner, the leading state, the pioneer state in building a sustainable transport infrastructure in the state of Andhra Pradesh by promoting the electric mobility ecosystem. Government of Andhra Pradesh, with a view to make Andhra Pradesh as the major hub for electric mobility, has come up with this policy of Andhra Pradesh Electric Mobility Policy 2018-23. Then the government, to promote electric mobility in the state, wants to allocate 500 to 1000 acres of land for developing electric vehicle parks with a plug-and-play internal infrastructure, common facilities, and necessary external infrastructure. The parks will attract manufacturers across the EV ecosystem. So this is the idea of electric vehicle parks. So electric vehicle parks is a special tool in which the manufacturers of electric vehicles were given all the benefits and hand-holding support to take up the manufacture of electric vehicles. And in addition, auto clusters and automotive suppliers manufacturing sectors specific to electric vehicles shall be provided financial assistance of 50% of fixed capital investments in building and common infrastructure. So then what are the objectives of this policy of 2018 to 23 is, see the objectives: to make Andhra Pradesh a global hub for electric mobility development and manufacturing, to make Andhra Pradesh a global hub, not just a hub within India, to make Andhra Pradesh a global hub for electric mobility development and manufacturing. And then by creating a conducive ecosystem for electric mobility, Government of Andhra Pradesh wants to attract manufacturers across the electric vehicle ecosystem to the state. And then the policy also speaks about promoting innovation actively through grants and venture funds. And then see, for the electric vehicles to take a lead, what is required is charging infrastructure. So the policy also focuses on investments into battery charging infrastructure and hydrogen generation and fueling station development. And in addition, the policy speaks about creation of a skilled workforce. So creating a workforce which is a skill with respect to the manufacture of electric vehicles. And then promoting electric vehicles to enable transition to environmentally sustainable cities. So we have something called Amrut Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, and in addition we have a program called Smart Cities. So for the cities and towns to be smart and to be sustainable, a transition to transportation through electric vehicles is a very much important necessity. And then the present transportation infrastructure, which is predominantly based on fossil fuels, has to be slowly replaced in course of time with that transportation infrastructure which runs through electric vehicles. Then what are the targets which were laid down under the policy? The policy speaks about attracting investments to the tune of 30,000 crores in the next 5 years. So 30,000 crores is the target of investment to be attracted into the state of Andhra Pradesh across the electric mobility ecosystem. And similarly, the policy speaks about creating an employment potential of 60,000 people, creating employment to a total of 60,000 people. And then the other target is bring in manufacturing units of high density energy storage. And in addition, by 2029, there is a target to convert all the APPSC bus fleet into electric buses. As of now, APPSC has got a total of 11,000 buses, and all these 11,000 buses were targeted to be converted into electric buses by 2029. And then all fossil fuel based commercial fleet and logistic vehicles in top 4 cities in the state of Andhra Pradesh will be phased out by 2024. That means by 2024 in the top 4 cities in the state of Andhra Pradesh, fossil fuel based commercial fleet will be replaced by electric vehicles. And in all the towns and cities by 2030 we have to replace fossil fuel based vehicles with electric vehicles. And then in addition to this, especially in the government sector, all the forms of government vehicles, including vehicles under government corporations, boards and government ambulances, will be converted to electric vehicles by 2024 itself. That was one more target which was laid down. So by 2024, one more target is to have 10 lakh electric vehicles in all the segments of vehicles: 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler, 4-wheeler. Within the 4-wheelers, commercial fleet, logistic fleet, passenger, etc. So by 2024, the target is to manufacture 10 lakh electric vehicles. And in addition to this, to support these electric vehicles with the charging, one more target is to have 1 lakh slow and fast charging stations by 2024. To have 1 lakh slow and fast charging stations by 2024. And then what is the strategy to be followed for achieving all the targets under the electric mobility policy? So manufacturing of electric vehicles and its components, focusing on manufacturing of electric vehicles and its components, and then putting in place the charging infrastructure, and then hydrogen generation and refueling infrastructure, demand creation for electric vehicles by giving incentives, and also promoting research and development. And this second part of the information is taken from an interview given by Ramana Reddy, who is the chairman of REDCAP, National Renewable Energy Development Corporation Limited. So he shared his thoughts. Ramana Reddy, the chairman of REDCAP, he shared his thoughts with respect to electric vehicles and electric mobility in the state of Andhra Pradesh. From that interview, this information is collected. And he says that in the state of Andhra Pradesh, REDCAP, that is Renewable Energy Development Corporation, is the nodal agency for development of electric mobility and its charging infrastructure. And for this purpose, REDCAP has signed new here NRED-CAP means New and Renewable Energy Development Corporation. New and Renewable Energy Development Corporation. So this is the nodal agency for development of electric mobility and its charging infrastructure. For this, REDCAP has signed MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, with the National Thermal Power Corporation Limited, and also this is NTPC is a Maharatna company, all of you might be knowing this, and Rajasthan Electronics and Instruments Limited. This is a Jaipur based Mini Ratna company under the Department of Heavy Industries. Under the Department of Heavy Industries, and there was one scheme which is being run by the Department of Heavy Industries, FAME India, Faster Adoption and Manufacture of Hybrid and Electric Vehicles. So this was part of National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020. So there was one mission known by the name National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020. As part of this, there was one scheme launched by the Department of Heavy Industries known by the name FAME India. FAME India means Faster Adoption and Manufacture of Hybrid and Electric Vehicles. And then Mr. Ramana Reddy says that in the state of Andhra Pradesh, in the near future, 110 electric charging stations will be established at an approximate cost of 32 crores. And he says, while Rajasthan Electronics and Instruments Limited will build and operate electric charging stations at Vijayawada, Kakinada, Tirupati and Guntur, where Government of India's ongoing subsidy offer is available for electric vehicles under the scheme, that is I told you, FAME scheme. So in the four cities, Vijayawada, Kakinada, Tirupati and Guntur, Rajasthan Electronics and Instruments Limited will build and operate electric charging stations. And here subsidy is available from Government of India under the FAME India scheme. And then in other towns and cities of Andhra Pradesh, NTPC will establish electric charging infrastructure, and here subsidy is not available from Government of India under the FAME India scheme. And this scheme is a green initiative focusing on technology development, demand creation, pilots and charging infrastructure. And what are the responsibilities of REDCAP with respect to electric mobility? Remember, REDCAP or the state government of Andhra Pradesh doesn't make any investment. It will identify the locations, site locations for charging points, and liaison link with local government authorities like Southern Power Distribution Company of Andhra Pradesh Limited for setting up power connections at the site locations. And as I told earlier, there is no investment from REDCAP. The government of India is offering a subsidy for the charging equipment to be developed by the Mini Ratna company. Then currently the existing Andhra Pradesh Electric Mobility Policy 2018-23 is under revision. I told you, Mr. Ramana Reddy said this policy will be revised. Instead of scrapping the policy altogether, whatever changes required in the policy will be added to the policy. And he says to encourage customers to buy the electric vehicles, electric charging infrastructure is very much needed, and that is being provided by NTPC and Rajasthan REIL, which I told now. And then what is the advantages which the customers will get by moving to electric vehicles is there will be a benefit of reducing the operating cost. If it is a vehicle run by petrol or diesel, per kilometer the expenditure will be 8 to 10 rupees. 8 to 10 rupees. The operating cost for the vehicles run by petrol or diesel is 8 to 10 rupees per kilometer. But if it is an electric vehicle, it is rupees 2 to 3 per kilometer. So that's why there is an added advantage for the consumers to switch over to electric vehicles. Then he says that as of now, the choice of the consumers for electric vehicles is limited, and this has to be expanded in all the segments like the 4-wheeler, 3-wheeler and as well as 2-wheeler. and especially in the towns and cities to reduce the pollution and to move to sustainable cities. He says auto rickshaws, they have to be converted from diesel to electric. But for this, the government existing scheme doesn't provide any subsidy, and Red Cap has made a request to the central government to give subsidy for the conversion of three-wheelers from diesel or petrol to electric. Why the Red Cap is focusing on three-wheeler market is because it reduces the pollution, and that's why there was a request made by Red Cap to the Government of India to extend FAME India subsidy benefits to auto rickshaws which are to be converted to electric vehicles. Thank you.